Hello everyone! In the previous two sections, we discussed the typical artistic representatives of black, white, dan, and qing. They are the core colors among all Chinese traditional colors. When we match and harmonize these colors with each other, they can create the colorful, unique, and meaningful Chinese color system. Among the treasures of Chinese art, dramatic facial makeup in Chinese opera and embroidery are regarded as the epitome of Chinese color matching. In this section, we will interpret the code of color systems in facial makeup and embroidery. The song introduced the 5 colors of facial makeup in Beijing opera as well as the corresponding representative figures. In Beijing opera, various characters have their own facial makeups with specific patterns and colors. Facial makeup can highlight their personalities and characteristics. When the audience see the facial makeups, they can distinguish between the loyal and the disloyal, the good and the evil. Wang Hong, a dramatist, summed up the color of facial makeups in Beijing opera as follows. Red represents loyalty and purple represents filial piety. Black represents integrity and pink represents the elderly. Water white represents treacherousness and paint white represents arrogance. Yellow represents fierceness and gray represents greed. Blue represents braveness and green represents ruthlessness. Gold and silver are the colors for God, Buddha, and spirits. Different people have facial makeup of different colors, and some even draw special patterns of their faces. This man loves to drink and draws a gourd on his forehead. In ancient China, wine was put in a gourd and the drunk carries it while walking. The second man has an yin and yang diagram on his forehead, and he's good at divination. The third man has a piece of ancient Chinese coin on both cheeks. Can you guess what his job is? He turns out to be a god of fortune. In addition to Beijing opera, there are more than 300 Asian operas in China, such as Anhui opera, Han opera, Kunqu opera, Shanxi opera, and Sichuan opera, and so on. Among them, the face changing of Sichuan opera is the most famous and impressive. The characters in Chinese traditional operas are mainly divided into 4 categories. Shen, males. Dan, females. Jing, painted face. And Chou, clown. The most outstanding feature of the character of Jing is its facial makeup. As a matter of fact, other characters also have their own facial makeup, but theirs are simpler and plainer. I believe you, especially girls, should like the makeup of the character of Dan. The decoration of hair patches and plaits set the faces off to be round as pearls and smooth as jade. The rouge polishing part between the eyebrow and the hairline, as well as the black eyeshadow and eyelines that rise in an exaggerating manner, make both eyes limpid. With the help of beautiful headwear and costume, as well as graceful performance, every dressed the character of Dan or looked lively and charming, eyes filled with graceful elegance. In contrast, the Chou character wears some white powder on the bridge of the nose which gives an ugly look. They always play a comedic role in Beijing opera due to their funny look. This art of decorating fabric or other material with threads, wires, or leather is like painting. In Chinese embroidery, The fabric serves as paper and the needle as brush. Chinese embroidery is one of the Asian Chinese crafts. China is the first country in the world to have discovered and used silk. With the use of silk and the production and development of silk products, the crafts of Chinese embroidery has sprung up in this country for thousands of years. This embroidery with dragon and phoenix patterns in the Warring States period in ancient China more than 2,000 years ago is one of the earliest embroidery works in China that have been discovered. The four famous embroideries in China are Su embroidery created around the city of Suzhou in Jiangsu province, Yue embroidery created around the cities of Guangzhou and Chaozhou in Guangdong province, Xiang embroidery around Changsha in Hunan province, and Shu embroidery from Chengdu in Sichuan province. Chinese embroidery covers a wide range of themes. Take the theme of animal, for example. Su embroidery is good at cats. Yue embroidery is good at phoenix. Xiang embroidery is excellent in tigers, and Shu embroidery is famous for its vivid works of carps. We can see that the hair and the scales of the animals in these embroidery works are sparkling and lifelike. How did this artistic effect come into being? Let's take a look at the thread that embroideries use. The thinnest type is only 1/10 of the thinnest human hair, which effectively transfers one color to another, from light to shadow, and therefore produces the vivid three-dimensional effect. A large piece of embroidery often takes 2 or 3 years to complete. In addition to the four famous embroideries, the embroideries of other regions and ethnic minorities in China also have a very typical regional style. In modern times, machine embroidery gradually replaces manual embroidery, which helps to the wide spread of Chinese embroidery as a symbol of Chinese cultures. On the international stages for fashion shows, for example, embroidery is often the key to unlock Chinese fashion. When the delicate Eastern elements conveying Chinese Asian styles meet the simple Western fashion styles, the combination would send forth unmatched glamour with the help of ornament of embroideries. From the decorative patterns of the sleeves of girls working in the field to the emperor's robes with the dragon patterns, from the surface of silk fans and quilts to the furniture with paint screens, from the south of the Yangtze River to the mountains and rivers in Sichuan, Chinese embroidery has gone through thousands of years through the Asian and modern times, connecting China to the world. Chinese embroidery has become a name card of the most colorful Chinese art. What a treasure house! Calligraphy and ink painting are black pearls. Paper cutting is ruby. Celadon is jade. Blue and white porcelain is sapphire. Embroideries and facial makeups in Chinese opera are glittering diamonds. Now, these Chinese artistic treasures embody Oriental aesthetics and Oriental wisdom, bringing visual enjoyment to all mankind. This is the end of the chapter. If you have any questions, please contact us and leave us a message.